Hello, I'm Bill Payne. I'm an engineer by training, an entrepreneur who sold his company to the DuPont company some years ago. That company was a high-tech company in the material science area, and a long-time angel investor. I've invested in more than 60 companies in the last 30 years, and in the past decade helped the Kauffman Foundation develop a series of seminars and workshops on angel investment. I have delivered those workshops in 10 countries, most states in the U.S., and more than 100 times. I'd like to invite you to participate in an exciting workshop developed by UNLV for investors interested in learning more about investing in early stage companies. Those investors are frequently called angel investors. Now, why is this workshop important? Angel investors fund many startup companies, and those companies create lots of jobs. In fact, the Kauffman Foundation in 2009 reported that all the new jobs that were created in this country were created by companies that were less than 5 years old. So angels tend to fund a very important segment of enterprises in the U.S. Experienced entrepreneurs and business persons are the best angel investors. Their skills and experiences are critical to selecting fundable companies and especially to mentoring those companies after investment. After all, we are in funding these companies as an investment. We want them to grow, be successful, and eventually sell to a larger public company so we can harvest our investment. However, most often, experienced business people lack the skills and experiences related to investing in startup companies, such as term sheets and other aspects of the angel investing process. This workshop is designed for interested investors to learn from the experiences of longtime practitioners in angel investing. So who are these angel investors? They're experienced business persons and exited entrepreneurs who are investing their own money in startup ventures. These part-time investors invest perhaps 3 to 10% of their net worth in this very high risk but high return investment asset class. And our returns are enhanced by diversification. So that means it's really appropriate for us to invest in many such ventures. It's difficult to do it alone. In fact, I've been an angel investor for more than 30 years, and I can tell you that it's much better to do it as part of an angel group. Now, the trend has been among angels to join groups. There are now about 400 angel groups in the U.S., and perhaps triple that number around the world. The typical investment that we make in startup ventures is a check that could be as small as $5,000 or as large as $1 million, but tends to range in the $25,000 to $50,000 range. A dozen such investors might invest at the same time in a single company, maybe a total of $300,000, and for that we might buy 25 to 30% of the company. How does angel investing fit into the capital that's available for startup entrepreneurs? Now, at the idea stage, entrepreneurs tend to provide their own capital or maybe seek funding from friends and family. That total investment might be in the range of $5,000 to maybe as high as a few $100,000. Once the company gets to what we call the startup stage, and that means they're close to first revenues. They've got, perhaps a prototype they're showing to customers, or they've actually got some customers that are buying product. This is the time when angel investors tend to engage with early stage companies. Growth stage companies, that is, companies with revenues and perhaps earnings, or at least positive cash flow, who are seeking growth capital, generally find that capital from venture capitalists. Friends and family, angel investors, venture capitalists, we're not necessarily competitive. We are complementary. That being said, it is not unusual for friends and family to invest alongside angels or for angels to invest in the same deal as venture capitalists. Now, what does this workshop cover? It covers an overview of a variety of topics related to angel investing, such as more on these capital sources for entrepreneurs, what might be the expected return for angels with a portfolio of funded companies, and what is a fundable company? What do we look for before we make a decision to put money in a company? The second topic we might look at, or we will look at, is valuation. And this is a rather thorny discussion of determining how much ownership investors might end up with after putting money in a startup company. The third topic we'll take a look at is due diligence, because we've found that due diligence, which is validating the investment opportunity, makes a huge difference on how the returns that we get from the companies we fund. So due diligence really is an opportunity for us to get to know the companies before we write a check. Term sheets define the structure of the deal, and frankly, I've found that some of these terms are an entirely new language. And it changes quite frequently. So learning term sheets and what might be an investor-friendly term or a company-friendly term is really a critical part of angel investing. Finally, we're going to take a look at the post-investment relationship, which will describe how we angels are engaged with entrepreneurs after funding. Are we mentoring? Are we advising these companies? Are we serving as directors on the boards of these new startup companies? We'll wrap up this series of 6 workshops with a pitch session. It should be a lot of fun, where entrepreneurs will pitch by video and the participants will evaluate the deal, and the evaluation will be critiqued by the practitioner that's in the room. For more information on this series of 6 workshops on early stage angel investing, I suggest you email entrepreneurship@unlv.edu. Thank you very much.